Okay. 14 out of 15, close enough. Hello, everybody. We're live. Welcome to the show. Hey, Debbie. I'm reading 14 out of 15. I did not take my pills as prescribed earlier. Let's get on that. Twitter thinks I should be following Representative Ilhan Omar. Ain't gonna happen. I gotta give a fuck what any of those people have to say. I don't care. I don't follow any politicians anymore. You know, there was a time when I even followed Bernie Sanders. You know, for a long time, I unfollowed him. And I see people that follow presidents, Kamala Harris, and they retweet them and shit. And I unfollow them too. If I see you retweeting Joe Biden, I unfollow you. You know why? I unfollowed Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for a reason. I don't want to hear what they have to say. So if you're retweeting them on my feed and I have to look at it, I have to unfollow you so I don't have to see what they have to say. Isn't that funny? Many times I'll block those people, but it's Joe Biden tweets on several accounts, so I haven't blocked all of them. Thank you so much. Take care. You know, he slips through the cracks, and plus I'm on a new account. So I see that shit, and I'm just like, yeah, so I can't. No. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know what they're saying. It's just like when somebody that's new to Twitter is trolling people on there, and you see people interacting with them, and you look and you see that they've got no followers because they've only been on Twitter for a little bit of time, and you wonder, man, is this a fake account or a new account, or is this just somebody that just comes on to troll and they don't really contribute to the social aspect of Twitter? They're just there to make a ruckus. Just check the follower count. That's what I do. So I noticed something somebody said, and I was like, that's disturbing and stupid. I was like, before I buy into it and respond and play into their bullshit, let me see how many followers they have and see if they're a legitimate person or not. You know, if they got 10,000 followers, I'll jump into the conversation, and I might pick up a few followers along the way that see the interaction. You got 78 followers, I've got nothing to say to you. I'm just going to keep on scrolling by. You're not doing anything with your Twitter account. You're not helping anybody. You're not helping yourself. People aren't interested in what you have to say, and neither am I. So it's a good indicator whenever I'm scrolling through and I see something. And let me tell you something. Sometimes I'll scroll through and somebody will say something I like, you know, and they'll just have a few followers, and I'll go ahead and I'll follow them. I'll be like, this person needs more followers, and it's weird that they don't have any. I don't assume that, you know, they don't have any followers because they suck. I assume they don't have any followers because Twitter doesn't like what they say. So they block people from seeing what they're saying, especially when they've been on there for a few years, you know, and they've been putting up content. You know what I'm saying? So if you're on social media and you're contributing and you're being social and you're retweeting other people and you're liking other people's comments and you're having conversations with other people, I'll notice that. When you engage me, I'll look and see what you do. I'll look and see what kind of engagement you've had with other people before I even make a decision whether or not I'm going to respond to you. You know, I'm not there to talk to every fucking troll bitch on Twitter. And actually, I'm there to avoid and ignore those people so I can process what I'm there to process, you know? I don't want to have my time wasted. I noticed that right now everybody's talking about guns and AR-15s and 18-year-olds and all kinds of things. You click on one of those threads and you just go down a rabbit hole of opinion that you really probably don't want to expose yourself to. You've probably already made up your mind on where you stand on a certain issue. And engaging in it with people that have already made up their minds, it's not going to achieve anything, is it? That's why when people come in here and say, yo, Nay, will you debate me on this or on that? As almost 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say no. I've already made up my mind. You're not going to convince me, and I don't want to waste my time trying to convince other people. It's not my job, and it just drives me fucking crazy. And I just end up making more enemies and losing more friends. You know, every time I pontificate on a subject that somebody's going to disagree with, they got to make themselves into an enemy of mine. You know, ooh, we disagree on something. I got to hate you now. Okay. That's cool. You know, I hate Candace Owens because I disagree with just about everything she says. So I understand. I get it. I've avoided Twitter aside from you these past couple of days, Nick Brown. Right on. Right on. Hell yeah. Chris Meadows, hello. I'm Adidas, hello. What's going on, guys? Nothing really going on to talk about in the news. We're kind of on a slow news day, kind of like a hump in between school shootings, I guess, you know. What the fuck just happened? God, this is so stupid. What was the smugness level when you tweeted this dandy out? I'm gonna give him the thanky thankersons. He's just a guy tweeted the names of all the high schools where there have been mass shootings, and I'm like, God, you must have been so smug while you. Ooh, I thought of a good tweet. Yeah, this is really gonna show those Republicans. I'm gonna write out all the names of all of those. Unsent tweets. Oh, something went wrong. I can't send a tweet. They won't let me send a tweet to Lee Camp. And I don't know why. Weird. Oh, because it's got a link to StreamYard in it. Okay, I bet you that's what it is. Whoa, what's going on here? Doogie Styles, thank you for retweeting me. Adam Merkel, thank you for retweeting me and 4 others. Fantastic, you guys. Okay, I think I've read all that tweet stuff. Let's turn on the light. Let's brighten it up a little bit, shall we? I hate making tweets that nobody sees, man. God, it sucks. It almost makes me not want to tweet anymore. My goodbye to Redacted tonight. What is that smell? It smells good. I don't know what it is. It smells like dessert, man. I don't know what that is. It's like a candle, or maybe she lit a candle in there. It tweeted it anyway. It said it didn't tweet, but it tweeted it anyway. Oh, okay, I got you. Okay. Dude, I like these fucking tweets and then I have to go back and re-like them because they've been unliked. It's so funny, and I know I liked them because I like every single one, man. These are 11 hours old. I don't understand it. Wow. None of these have likes on them for me. I swear, I scrolled all the way down and liked every single one, man. Like I always do. Yo, Enoch, what's up? Merc, no bong rips for shooters. Right? There goes my phone, Nick Brown. Am I going to kill your battery, bro? There, that's it. Now I've gone all the way down. I've liked every single thing that you guys have sent at me, and there's a heart next to everything. And what I don't understand is why there were 30 freaking tweets that didn't have my likes on them. That is so weird. Show, Adam Merkel. Yes, I will like that. I will retweet that, Adam. Thank you, buddy. Independent Left, I'll retweet you. Fucking creep. Okay. Dog seeing my buddy's little Beazle. He's 1-year-old Boston. Well, if it ain't the mini storage, yeah. So, Steady, what's up? I don't know who you are. I almost blocked you instantly for saying what you just said, and then I was like, all right, I'll wait and see if you reveal who you are. Steady. I haven't taken any rips yet on the show, sadly. So, give me a second and I will. Bostons are cool dogs. Yeah. What's going on between Graham and... Oh. Fuck, what did I just press?
If you're over 30 years old, own a home in the Orlando, Florida area, we're offering homeowners a new roof when they also go solar.
Yeah, whatever. Why so the power company can deny paying you for your solar energy?
Okay.
One other thing, I know that Chad has been clamoring to
Malds about Jimmy Dore and smears.
to what Mr. Graham Elwood apparently said on his...
Okay. Let me go ahead and pull this up because these guys are about to talk shit about my boy. And because he was talking shit about my other boy, who I talk shit about too. So let me just see what this is all about. We'll get right into this, okay? Because I never watched the
Graham
Vanguard.
Elwood apparently said on his recent stream...
I don't watch the Vanguard because I don't like them. That's why I don't watch them. I don't like them. But let's go ahead and see what they have to say, and then I'll comment, okay? Let's just see what the Vanguard says about my buddy Graham Elwood.
He was kind of malding a bit more about Jimmy. Have you guys been following that situation at all with Graham Elwood?
Okay, I don't know what malding means. Can anybody explain to me what malding means? Let me know. I assume it means what, taking somebody out of context or slamming somebody or I don't know. But let me know if you understand what malding is. Iceman, what's up, buddy? Bong rip? Bong rip? Cheers.
Kind of trying to initiate a beef with his former homie Jimmy Dore?
I saw their debate on mandates, and I know they used to be friends, and now they're like beefing. Like I saw a lot of Jimmy fans going after Graham. I'm like, man, bro, chill.
Malding means mad. Is malding a word? Why is MALD in capitals? MALDS, malds. Is that an actual word? All right, I'll give you a second, bro.
Why y'all so invested?
Never heard that word before.
But it is sad when you see friends
I know.
At the part, but I don't know why some people I see people attack Graham all the time. Why are you guys so invested? But anyway,
right. Well, also,
it is kind of sad to see. But go ahead.
It is funny, I will say, and again, we're going to assess the merits of this based on its merits, again, regardless of my opinion of any certain commentator. But I do think it is a little bit ironic, like you mentioned, Nick. People that love Jimmy Dore, who never minces his words and who goes after anyone and everyone. But for some reason, when Graham does it, it's petty and it's not good behavior for whatever reason. But I do find
isn't that what you just said? You were calling it malding a second ago, dude. And now that Nick pushed back on you a little bit, now you're changing your whole tune. This is why I hate this guy. Because he's a spineless cuck bitch. Oh, I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry.
A little bit ironic. But let's take a listen, because I don't know what he says. I haven't watched this yet. One of our viewers
Cheers,
sent
ice.
because they
Cheers.
thought it would be fun to react to. But let's just take a listen. We don't have to spend too long on this. I just wanted to check in with Graham.
So mad they start balding.
Taking crazy right-wing stances just because they're going to disagree with anything the liberal media, liberals, they've been attacked by, Glenn Greenwald and Jimmy Dore
I need
have
to
been
smoke
attacked
before I
by
watch
the
this.
liberal
Cheers.
media and liberals in general to such a scathing degree, and it's awful what's happened to them, that now they're just taking right-wing stances just to be contrarian, and that's bad. That's bad, and that's dividing the left, because now you're hearing just flat-out right-wing views, and the minimization of the white nationalists' involvement with January 6th. I don't think you can organize anything. The only thing that people have been able to organize, which again is labor movements for their specific jobs. I don't think America's capable of doing a general strike. I don't think America's capable of that. I don't think any organization, anything, somebody organizes anything, it gets infiltrated, and then there's some scandal. I mean, look at the People's Party. There was a Me Too thing, and now everyone's fighting about that, and so that's Democratic operatives came over to the People's Party to deliberately blow it up. This happened with, how many movements?
Okay,
at what point is he not making any sense? I'm just wondering.
First of all, I 100% disagree with that. I've had extensive...
Okay, I don't. I 100% agree with it because it's factual. Okay? It's factual. Gavin.
Conversations with the ex-volunteers from the People's Party, and there's absolutely no evidence whatsoever that they were infiltrators or anything of that effect. So I find that...
however Graham characterizes it, they were in there subverting the party for sure. They subverted the party, and it doesn't matter what their motivations were. If you and Graham want to split hairs over, their motivations, their funding, fine.
Of Graham to
stupid.
accuse someone of being an infiltrator.
We're splitting
without any evidence.
hairs.
So what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, actually, the first person that we ever interviewed on FHL, now we are RBN, right? We had our first roundtable on the first episode. Our first person that we interviewed was Renee Johnson. She was one of the black activists who had
People's Party
issues with the People's Party.
Yes.
Because I think it was a worthy debate and conversation. Now, my position was the People's Party is not in a position of power. So if you disagree with the People's Party, just leave the party. You can share your story and we help you get that out. But when you spend 2 years on this, it's what are you doing? we got other things we got fried. But they did bring up legitimate concerns. But I'm more supportive of the Jill Stein wing of the Green Party.
I'm sad to hear Nick say we spent 2 years on it and to make it sound like that wasn't enough. That's the problem, Nick. You only spent 2 years on it and then you all gave up like a bunch of pussies. That's what happened. You fell apart and it's y'all's fault. The People's Party's fault.
I lost interest in the People's Party around the time where they said they're not interested in advancing socialism because they want to be a popular party. I was like, okay. So my thing was, all right, I'm just done. I just don't understand.
It didn't take much.
The concept.
It didn't take much. You know, and when you put names, and this is why I like Jackson Hinkle so much, when you start putting labels on shit, you're going to lose people. You're going to separate people. And he heard the word socialism wasn't going to be acceptable there, so he left. Boom. That's why names are and terms and all that shit is so stupid. You have a concept, you know, quit calling it socialism and start calling it Medicare for all. You know, you idiots. Stop calling it socialism and start calling it ending foreign wars, you fucking idiots. In the People's Party.
Obsession
Not
over
Nick.
like attacking and going after them. But there was concerns that had to be brought up. But that's the only thing I had to really say on that.
Well, just to provide a little bit more on that, I think, in my experience, I think the reason why some of them seem so like obsessed, quote unquote, is because they were smeared. I think if the MPP leadership had handled it better and hadn't accused them of being infiltrators, they probably would have just dropped it and been like, well, we said our piece, we blew the whistle, and time to move on.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't want to dismiss their concerns, but you guys know what we say on Revolutionary Blackout. We don't want to focus too much on electoralism, and when you spend your whole time to take down the People's Party that don't have no power, like that's all your time,
Right.
your entire timeline. Like, all right, what are we doing? And once again, I'm not saying that their concerns are not legitimate, but I don't want to like derail the conversation too much. That's just kind of my thoughts on
That's fair.
that entire drama. But go ahead, guys.
That's fair. Generally, though, I do have a hard stance against accusing people of being paid off on either side.
Yeah, that's
if there's
fair,
no
that's
evidence.
fair.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You're splitting hairs. Now move on.
And said that Aaron Mate
Move
was
on, Gavin.
a stooge
Jesus
of the criminal.
Christ, I can't believe you
with
spent all
evidence
this
that he
time
was on the
splitting
Russian
hairs
payroll or anything
on
like
a
that. I thought that was absurd.
non-issue.
I thought that was reprehensible to accuse someone with no evidence of being a paid actor, and that's exactly what Jimmy Dore and Nick Brana have done to the whistleblowers, including Paula Jean Swearingen, who's anything but a Democratic infiltrator of being that. So I did find that to be disgusting, and I do find it unfortunate that Graham Elwood is repeating these talking points, probably just because he's friends with Nick Brana and hasn't actually taken the time to hear out the stories and experiences of the volunteers. So that's a big blow against me for Graham Elwood, and honestly, a lot of the
Whatever.
accusations he makes about Jimmy Dore and Glenn Greenwald, as far as them leaning into right-wing talking points, I think those criticisms are just as applicable of Nick Brana and the People's Party. I don't know if you pay attention to their Twitter feed, for example, but they're constantly posting like right-wing memes and like all this stuff that does not at all seem, to me at least, to be in line with the progressive left vision for this country.
That's interesting.
But that's just me. Again, I know other people feel differently. That's my opinion. But what do you guys make of the criticism of a guy like Jimmy Dore, for example, who, Graham's not the first one to make this accusation. In fact, this is something Zach.
Did Graham mention Jimmy Dore, guys? At all? I was waiting for him to mention Jimmy Dore. So I'm kind of confused right now.
And I've acknowledged, but obviously if you want to push back, that's fine. But the fact that, maybe they are leaning into
And remember, Nick works for Jimmy Dore.
some
Or,
more
he goes on the show and guests. I say work for, he works with.
right-wing framing, right-wing talking points, whether it's because of their spite they have against liberals, or
Graham never
because,
mentioned
maybe they
Jimmy
see that
Dore,
there's
did
more
he?
money in that direction. What do you guys think about that?
If you want to go, Nick, I can.
Yeah, I'm more of a fan of taking on the conversation and debunking the arguments. A lot of times when I see
Hey, Josh.
People like in general make these beef, but a lot of people criticize Jimmy, they're like, oh, well, he's spouting right wing talking points. He's wrong on the mandates. I'm like, okay, instead of saying that as a statement, how about you just debunk the statement? So we'll see. We will let the video.
Very well said, Nick. That's exactly what I do, Nick. When Jimmy Dore says something I disagree with, I don't attack him personally. I go after what he said, and I debunk it on this show. Thank you. Thank you. It's exactly what
I
I
want
do.
to see if he debunks one of Jimmy's points. Because what I see often, and Jimmy and no one's above criticism, people are like, well, Jimmy's repeating right-wing talking points. Can you explain the right-wing talking points he's saying? Like, instead of just, when you don't explain it, when you don't...
Anything that Jimmy says basically about vaccines and masking and mandates and all that, it's all basically right-wing talking points. And for Nick to not know that is showing that he's lacking in his knowledge of what right-wing talking points are lately. Those are right-wing talking points. It's a valid argument that Graham is putting up.
make a concise breakdown, like I have done. I did a video where I did a concise breakdown of one of Voss's imperialist takes. I didn't just vaguely say that Voss is an imperialist with no evidence. that's more drama. That's more like smeary. That's not really substantive. If we see if Graham Elwood like clarifies, and if he does give a good example of that, I think it is a legitimate take. But if you just say something vaguely and you don't clarify what you're talking about, then that becomes a smear. And I'm not saying that because of this situation. That's my general take. Because I've been a victim of that. Like people say, "Oh, Nick is always he's always defending the right wing," and I'm like, "Sir, can you give me some examples?" And you can easily just say stuff without giving an example and actually breaking it down. So that's
all right, Nick.
I would love to hear from
Nick, I'm going to give you one example right now. Jimmy was saying, and I have a very hard time saying this on my show without getting in trouble, and Jimmy can say this all he wants, and he can misinform all he wants, and I can't even say that the misinformation that Jimmy was putting out on my channel, because I'll get in trouble for it. So I'm just going to say it like this. When Jimmy was talking about that, okay, he said because it's hitting an artery, it's causing heart's myocarditis or some crazy bullshit because improper administration. It was totally debunked. Okay? It was debunked on my show. It was debunked by Wikipedia. It was debunked by Google. It was debunked by common sense. Okay? Jimmy was wrong, and that was a right-wing talking point. Okay? That was just one little one. You know, the vaccines are being improperly administered. I can't say it on my...
Do you think there are any examples that you've observed, at least, of someone like Jimmy Dore feeding into right-wing talking points?
I don't lie with him on all the issues. Just the same way I don't lie with like everyone on the same issues. I don't think people are defined clearly by just left or right. Like people may have different takes on culture.
Well, some people are.
A lot of people may have different takes on strategy, but there are a lot of people who they deem someone being a lefty, they deem someone being a righty based on whether they have the right opinion on something or they are a good person. I think it's more fluid than that. What is their strategy? What are they saying? And now if they say something that's really messed up, and that's why I don't have like a clear example that Graham is saying here, then you can talk about the issue of that subject. But a lot of times I see just people just, oh, he got right-wing talking points. Oh, you're being this, you're being this. I'm like, all right, can I get some examples on and how is this hurting the workers' movement? And that's and maybe we gotta see more of the video because I haven't seen it. So I'm not. That's just my general take. But go ahead, man.
Before you go, Manny, just because some people in chat are asking me to, give an example. One that recently Zach and I talked about was Jimmy basically implying that Trump was like somehow an anti-war candidate, that he was uncontrolled by donors, he was unbought and unbossed, and that's why he went in there.
Yes, and Jimmy does say that, and I completely disagree with him on this one, and he is right. Gavin, I'll give you that point. You are correct. Jimmy does make that right-wing talking point when he says that Donald Trump is an anti-war candidate, and people, that's why people supported him, because he's anti-war, and he almost started World War III multiple times. And if I remember correctly, wasn't that whole thing where he got in trouble, impeached? Wasn't that whole thing over him giving money and weapons to Ukraine so they could bomb the Donbass region some more and kill more Russians? Wasn't that Donald Trump letting that money finally go over there? At first he tried to hold it like bribery, and then he let it go to go kill more ethnic Russians, right? Like I said, we started this war.
Imperialist than, say, a Democrat would be, which I totally reject and disagree with. I think that there was a multitude of examples under Trump's administration of him being a complete imperialist, scumbag, just like any other president, escalating with nuclear power.
And an authoritarian.
I think that's a fair example of him kind of pandering to the right wing. I don't think anyone on the left would give Trump credit for being anti-imperialist.
Look, okay. I don't think Jimmy Dore intentionally says those things to pander to the right wing, and that's where I think you're wrong in your criticism. I think Jimmy Dore says those things because he fucking believes them. Period. I don't think Jimmy has an allegiance to anyone. And that's where you're making a huge mistake here, dude. Huge mistake.
Yeah. I actually strongly disagree when people always say,
it almost comes down to this guy saying, I don't like it when people, trying to make statements saying that people are bought off, and they can't say who bought off from when he's talking about the people. And he's basically trying to say that Jimmy Dore's bought off by the Republicans because, he wants clicks.
Policy, how he
he
literally vetoed the genocide in
I disagree.
For genocide in Yemen. So that is not factually true. You gotta be careful on not strawmanning the main point and make sure we are 100% accurate in what we are saying. But in terms of, is it pandering to the right wing or is it making a point?
Exactly.
It's all about like your interpretation. It's hard for me to interpret that. If you think that's some pandering to the right, that's
kind of
the point. Go ahead, man.
That's kind, no, I'm
Nick and I totally
Kind of
agree.
the issue, right? Like
Nick and I agree.
we live in this society now where we want to put everybody in a label, in a box, and it's like if you're always in this box, and you can't come out of that box. You're in that box. So like if you're a leftist, you have to agree with every left.
I don't do that. I go after what you say, not what you claim to be. That's why I said before, I like the way Jackson Hinkle doesn't like to rely on labels.
This on every issue, on every no, that is a healthy democracy that we have disagreements. I'm sure if me and Nick debated, we would probably agree on 90% of things, but there's 10% that we might disagree on, and that's healthy. That's correct. But I'm not going to sit here and call Nick, oh well, you're not as left as I am, or I'm more to the left than you, or I'm more of a progressive. Like that's corny to me.
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I think it's a fine line. I think there's a line between having a substantive criticism.
Right.
You gotta make sure like you're not veering to smear territory. You gotta
Exactly.
make sure you're on the side.
Sure.
Look at that purple
Well, I
light
totally
bulb.
agree with that. Again, the only pushback I would offer is that I think that, for example, when a commentator gives credit to Joe Biden or to the Democrats, Jimmy will put that person in a box and he'll call him a shit lib. He'll say that he's sheep herding into the Democratic Party. He will use that kind of language. But then when he obviously panders to the right wing, to call it out as somehow
That's quite a fucking accusation.
and-
No, Nick. You should defend that point. That's quite an accusation. I watched Jimmy Dore, and I just have not personally seen that myself. So I'm going to have to call Gavin on that point. Yeah, I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that dude. I don't know where you got that idea from.
I'm in discourse, so I don't think people should cry when they get criticized because I get criticized all the time, and I just always want people to be concise.
I've gotten criticized because I'm harder on the Democratic Party than I am the Republican Party, but I'm like, I already know the Republican Party shit. So what more can I say about the Republican
That's
Party?
also a good point.
that
It's
you
true.
don't
It's where a
already
lot
know?
of us are. It's where a lot of us are. I mean, I completely disagree with everything the Republican Party stands for except my Second Amendment rights. That's it. I disagree with everything else, down the line. And everybody knows that about me. And I just don't talk about it that much, Why put people off? Because everybody already knows how I feel, That's why I don't discuss it.
On the Democratic Party because you should know better. Like me,
Dude, is something changing color when I click on it?
I'm always going to be more. I'm
the
going to be harder on
writing's
my
going
family
away.
than I'm going to be a stranger on the street, because it's like you supposed to know better. You're supposed to have my back, and you don't. And it's the same. And I apply that in the same context as this, right? Like people always say, well, if you're harder on the party that you're or on the side that you're supposed to be on, then you're using the opposite side's talking point. No, I'm just holding you accountable. And if like the other side's going to use that as a talking point, let them. They're bad faith actors anyway, so I already know what you're doing. Like I don't really get that concept of like you can't
Manny
hold
Brown, the
your
Manuel
side of,
Brown. I don't
quote,
know who
your
he
side
is.
accountable
Absolutely.
by using factual statements
I think-
as the critique, and then saying, well, that's a right wing talking point. And listen, Jimmy Dore, he has his criticism. I'm not even really we talked about this, Gavin, before. Like, I'm not really a big Jimmy Dore fan. Like, I am. I'm with him on certain policies and certain positions, and
Right.
I'm against him on certain positions.
Yeah,
I really don't
me
really
too.
pay attention to. I think the issue
But I'm
with
a big
Jimmy
fan of
Dore
his.
is that
He's
does it
funny,
loudly,
and he's nice.
and he yells and he screams. He's a little bit of a bully. I think people kind of like get triggered by him.
That he yells and screams and triggers people, and he's a little bit of a bully. That's some of the stuff that I love the most about him. He's got balls, and he stands up to people, and I love that about him. There's something that really appeals to me about that, somebody that is that passionate about his beliefs.
I'm just kind of like whatever.
Sorry, it's
he's
a turnoff.
no different to me than anybody else. That he's got a narrative and he's got a lane. And
You
he
want
tries
to go
ride
through
that
life
lane,
whispering,
and
bro? Okay, I get you.
Sometimes he's right.
You're a
Sometimes he's
whisperer.
wrong.
Keep whispering.
And I actually
You're the
like,
truth whisperer.
We do this all the time.
I'd rather
all the
be
time
the
on Black House,
truth
discussing differences
screamer.
on people on the left,
Screaming at the
or
top of my lungs.
whatever you want to define as anti-establishment populism.
As loud as I
and I think
possibly
it's worthy
can.
of discussion, right? That's how we build revolutionary discipline. That's how we come to the same agreement. I just don't like I don't like blanket terms and the reason why I don't like it because I've been a victim of this. where people will just say, "Oh, you have this position."
Oh, sure.
that's your
I've been
No,
grouped.
you need to try to
I've been
understand where I'm
called all
coming
kinds
from.
of things.
And I
You
feel
know,
like
you're
there's
this, you're
lots of
that. I've been
we
called a
haven't finished the
Republican. I've
clip,
been called a
but
Democrat.
The very beginning of
I've been
what
called
Graham
a
was doing, it
liberal.
seems like
I've
he's
been called a
doing that.
conservative.
But we see if you actually have like
I've been called
we see if you have,
a
like,
libertarian.
accurate criticism, but if you have a criticism of Jimmy, of me, or anyone, and it's on point, I don't think anyone will complain about that. But if you use like any criticism, like, "Oh, this is why he's a bad faith actor, this is why he's a grifter," like, I don't know if you're being nuanced on that. But let's continue with the clip.
Right.
Maybe
Listen to
that's
Gavin.
more context,
Right.
but
Yeah,
I
let's
don't
watch
know-
some more.
I don't know what to talk about the context, so I'm just
You're, you know, let's just see.
kind of commenting before that. But
I haven't seen this either, so I don't know if he's about to bring some receipts or not. Let's find out.
Can we talk about in the last 4 or
Okay.
5 years?
None of us have seen this.
6 years since 2016. Draft Bernie. You know, what was that one TYT started with Kyle Kalinske, Justice Democrats? They always start out as a good idea, and then they get infiltrated, and then everyone starts fighting with each other. There's some Me Too, you know, somebody weaponizes Me Too against someone, and so now everyone's fighting about all this crap, and no one's working together. The CIA is absolutely causing the left to be divided. The public, look, private intelligence. I see this on Twitter all the time.
This is true. Graham is correct here. The talking
Like
points from the
someone will
CIA
say-
are meant to divide us.
Like back in March or something like that. I don't know. I got mad and made fun of Jimmy. I think I said something about. Yeah, I can't remember. Who gives a fuck? Something, whatever. And people clipped that out and made a whole thing about it. And I see these accounts on Twitter.
He pointed at himself.
And I
He's
might
like,
just start
"Yeah, I
calling them
clipped
out
it
because it's just like when they're like, "Look at Graham," and then so that they clipped out and put it on Reddit or something like that. And one of these people
Gavin's all like, "It
put
was
this on
me."
Twitter, and the
all
reason
proud
I
of
don't
himself.
like responding to those people is I don't want to give them any sort of platform at all. But it should be pointed out because this one tweet was like, "Look at Graham," blah blah blah, and they had just posted the tweet, and it had 5 likes immediately, and I was like, "Oh, wow." And I looked at all 5 of the accounts; they all had 0 followers, and I was like, "Oh, these are bots." So either the person that made the tweet has a bot farm that they use, or private intelligence just attaches to this. So the people you got to look out for, unfortunately, are the people with like big followings.
I've never
whose
seen an
profile
account with
or
no
Twitter
followers.
looks very lefty. Medicare for all, free Assange.
Maybe one time recently.
And
I
then
did
when they
see
start
one that had
attacking
no
me,
followers yet.
or they're just
think-
stirring
but it
up
may have just been
fights
one of y'all
within
that
the
had just
left.
All right, so we'll watch a little bit more of this, but just to pause, and you guys can push back on this if you want to. But is it just me, or does this sound like a little bit of paranoia? Like I don't know if the CIA probably has better things to do than try to like.
Dude, Graham
instigate
is a conspiracy nut. Okay, I'm not going to say job, but he's into conspiracies. He does. It's gonna when he speaks, you're gonna hear some of that in some of the things he talks about. You don't know Graham very well, obviously.
beef between you and Jimmy Dore on Twitter. Am I off base here?
I think
Cheers.
there's some validity
OG
to what
Kush.
he's saying. Like I don't think he's completely off base. I think there is some validity to what he's saying. But again, it's all about context and what exactly are you getting at. And I don't think he's properly kind of leading the audience to what his actual point is. I think there is some paranoia there. Like anything, like any conversation, right? There is some validity to what he's saying. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that he's completely bullshitting. But I'm like, where are you getting at? Like, what's your point? Like, what are you actually trying to articulate? It sounds like it's more of him airing his grievances than like actually trying to educate or articulate an actual point.
Yeah, it's a therapy session.
Right.
And, but
Well, whatever, man. That's what you guys are fucking airing your grievances about Graham right now, you fucking bitches. All 3 of you fucking bitches. Look at you with the pot calling the kettle black. Can you believe this shit? Listen to them. Oh, wah, about Graham Elwood. Wah. Oh, sorry, Mom. Wah, crying about Graham Elwood. Wah. We're so Graham did this and Graham did that and Graham, wah. And you're saying Graham's the bitch? Oh, okay, 3 dudes versus 1 dude that's not even there to fucking defend himself. You guys are pretty fucking shitty, I must say.
I think there is some paranoia there. Like anything, like any conversation, right? There is some validity to it.
Don't worry, Graham, I got your back, bro.
Completely bullshitting. But I'm like, where are you getting at? Like, what's your point? Like, what are you actually trying to articulate? it sounds like it's more of him airing his grievances than like actually trying to educate or articulate an actual point.
Yeah, it's a therapy section.
Right.
And-
Yeah, this is your group therapy
on the
session right
fact
here,
sheet,
motherfuckers.
There was just a study that came out that 50% of Biden's Twitter followers are fake.
That is
And
true.
Anyone in Twitter, we all know there are bots floating around.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually was talking to Brown Joy Gray. We did a call in, and there was like she was under fire.
I don't understand the
'cause
point
she
of
was a
talking
victim
about
of
this
the
right now.
latest like shit-lib mob attack.
We're just
where
going
they
off on a
took her
massive
across some
tangent.
comments and took it out of context. And when we were talking about this, because I've been a victim of smear campaigns, I see a lot of people in the anti-imperialist circle get smeared with these same campaigns. We notice it's like always the same accounts. Like you just notice these kind of things after a while. It's like the more I think the more intelligent conspiracy theory that there is.
You're talking about the G Hive.
Yeah, this is what me and Brian Grace talked the other day. There's group chat filled with liberal attack dogs, where they attack people who are anti-imperialist, they attack people who are anti-capitalist, anyone who disagree with the Democratic Party. And I know this for a fact because I know friends who have infiltrated this, and they have screenshots proving that these groups exist, where they literally attack people who go after the establishment. I see them attack Jimmy, I see them attack Graham, I see them attack Lee, I see them attack myself, I see them attack many of our friends, right? But I don't know what Graham is talking about here in terms of like bots trying to get him to fight with Jimmy. I never seen. The only thing I'm gonna say, I haven't seen that before. I've never seen a bot try to get me to attack one of my friends. It's usually like a smear job, and you see it like coordinated, and then they stick their bots to amplify that. I just haven't seen what Graham is talking about. So I want you guys to know: is this story sounds kind of sus. But anyway, let's continue.
I have no doubt, by the way, that there is, infiltration going on, that there are CIA and bots and all that stuff. That no doubt about that. I'm not trying to deny that or underplay it. Again, it just seems like, all right, they probably have something better to do than, again, instigate a Twitter beef between Graham Elwood and Jimmy Dore. I don't know how much that would.
Not
really-
necessarily. That might be exactly what they're trying to do. And you're trying to double down on this now that you just backtracked out of it. Now you're doubling down on it. Hilarious.
Get done on their behalf. But, who knows? Who knows? Maybe he's correct. Let's watch a bit more.
I'm always like suspect of them. Because, Dr. Cornel West and Chris Hedges are never fighting with anybody on the left. Even I'm sure there's people they don't agree with.
And, well, again, this is a kind of dumb criticism, too, because Graham Elwood was best friends and, co-host of the Jimmy Dore Show for a long time. And it's not like Jimmy Dore has ever held back on criticizing other lefties or attacking other, commentators. It's not like this is some new phenomenon. Obviously, Chris Hedges and Cornel West are of a totally different breed. They're academics. They're not, muckrakers on YouTube. So this is just a little bit silly to me.
Right. Yeah, you know the position of revolutionary blackout. Like, this whole thing of leftist infighting is ridiculous. Like, if you have to have revolutionary discipline in the movement. Like, there was a lot of infighting. There was a lot of heavy debates during the early days of the Black Panthers. When you listen to what Lenin and what Marx said, Lenin used to call out Marxists all the time. That he was famous for having these big debates.
Right.
So the idea that as a left movement we shouldn't be having these discussions if someone is wrong on issues is ridiculous, and it's kind of snowflakey. And I don't know if that's what you're alluding to, but I do see a lot of people say that, and that's not what.
To piggyback off your point,
go ahead.
it's healthy to have these arguments and these discussions and try to criticize, for lack of a better term, when someone on the left that you share holistically opinions and thoughts about. It's healthy to have those discussions, but what are we doing with it? Are we actually aiming to teach and move people closer to the right side, or are you just trying to put people in a box? And that's where I always reject. It's like, if me and Nick have a disagreement, we'll debate, we'll talk about it, I'll go on his show, he'll go on my show, whatever, we'll text, we'll exchange conversation, we'll fight, we'll do whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, we have a disagreement. What are we doing? Am I moving
top of the
closer to
hour.
my side? Am I moving, or are you
That's
moving
what that
me closer
clock
to your
means.
side? Or are we just going to put each other in a box and then just say, well, you're no longer a left, or you're no longer a part, or you're no longer invited to the cookout because you don't agree with me on this issue and you're wrong. It's like, what at the end of the day, what's the end game? And I think with people like Graham Elwood,
Orange
it's like
bud.
they don't really have an end game. It's more based on victimization. It's like, well, feel bad for me because, oh my God, don't I have it rough that me and Jimmy fell out and now I've got all these people attacking me? And it's like, nah, dude, it's a little egocentric for my liking.
Yeah, well, and that's the other element here that's we haven't really talked about a lot, but a lot of this is coming from a place of resentment from Graham Elwood, and you can love Graham Elwood, that's obviously fine, but there is no denying that.
Bullshit. Resentment? You're saying that Graham Elwood resents Jimmy Dore? You've got some fucking nerve, you little punk bitch. You don't know Graham Elwood, dude. You assume way too much.
He's definitely a little bit salty about the fact that he's no longer getting the attention and probably money that came along with being on the Jimmy Dore show and being his kind of right-hand man. He probably feels betrayed. He probably, again, just feels a little bit resentful. So that's definitely, the impetus behind this little therapy session, as you called it earlier, Nick. Let's just watch a few more.
Oh, really, Gavin? Is that how you see it? Is that what you tell yourself at night so you can go to sleep? Is that how you sleep every night? You tell yourself that Graham Elwood is really upset that Jimmy Dore and him aren't having a great relationship anymore, and that's what makes you feel good? This dude's got it in for Graham, dude. He's got a serious problem with Graham. It's like a personal thing. It's ugly. I'm surprised Nick is just accepting it.
Is more important than some sort of petty disagreement. So,
just for Jimmy Dore's sake.
What you're seeing, there's people who are paid to do it, and then they personality profile you, so they know what buttons to push. So it's obvious when somebody which I know that, because I get annoyed easily when technology goes bad, I'm sure they've tried to fuck with my technology to make me mad. I'm sure that they've tried to do that. It's and when they try to stir this stuff up, I'm very leery, and I've talked to Susie Dawson about this. Anybody that has a free Assange account, not that there's plenty of people who are who want to free Julian Assange, and that's in their Twitter profile, and they're legitimate Assange activists. And that's the cause that's important to them. That's a great cause to find important. But there's a lot of them with big followings, and they stir up shit. And Susie's like, be careful for some of these accounts. They stir up shit. They're some of them are just Assange cult members. But wasn't it interesting? And Susie said this to me last summer. When I put that tweet out there that said, people have the right to not take the vaccine, and live performers have the right to ask for proof of vaccine or negative test. Our body's our choice, right? So all I was saying was, I'm a live performer who's putting himself at risk being on stage in front of a.
Yeah, so I don't really know where he's going with this.
He's meandering. He's like putting a bunch of different points and grievances all in one box. Yeah. But again, where are you going? What are you actually trying to articulate here?
He's chilling, man. Yeah. He's doing a podcast.
Anyway, I do feel bad for Graham Elwood in a sense, because it must, I'm sure he does feel hurt personally. By
okay, paleface dude.
The end of his friendship with Jimmy
with
Dore
the perfect
and all that
fucking
stuff.
disgusting
So I get it.
hair.
I feel for the guy, and I would
looks
like
like
to
a
see
fucking
a
wet
world
rat.
where him and Jimmy can, become friends again and become allies.
This feels like
again.
a red table talk. It's just it's like a breakup, and it's it's always awkward. And
I actually thought his debate with Jimmy on the mandates was very interesting.
It was.
And I remember when they were debating, they was like, yeah, this is what we do. We debate and we're friends.
Right.
Now I haven't been paying attention to the story that much, but damn, man, it's crazy it's getting involved to that. I would love to see them, and rather than this happen, I'd rather them come together and have a conversation about.
Can we get to the part where he talks about Jimmy Dore, please?
Like a right winger. I'd rather them just have that discussion.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'd rather see. It's kind of sad to see this.
I guess he never does.
I'm cool with Graham. I was on this comedy show. I'm cool with them, so it's not good to see this. It's not good.
I always felt like he kind of kept Jimmy grounded in a lot of issues. He always was the calming influence to Jimmy. I mean, again, I don't know too much about their beef or whatever, but it is kind of, I don't want to say sad, but it is disappointing to see, that they fell out for whatever the reason is. But yeah, I just always get a little cringy when it's like a bad breakup, and that's what this definitely feels like. It's just a bad breakup. Here's why Jimmy's bad, because he did all these other things, and but then it's like then he's going into bots and CIA funded bots and
got a little weird.
Where are you going? I don't know.
I will agree, though. I do miss the days of the Jimmy Dore show when it was Ron Placone and Graham Elwood. Ron's obviously a good friend of our show, so I'm a little biased. But, I really thought they brought an interesting dynamic to the to the show, and no disrespect to what's his face, Kurt Metzger or whatever, but I just don't think he has as many interesting points to add to the conversation.
Kurt Metzger or whatever. This dude is so fucking pathetic. He wants to be part of the community that he acts like he doesn't know people's names. Can we just hear him say that a few times? Humor me. Listen to this.
That a guy like Ron Walcone did. So, that is what it is. Obviously, to what's his face, Kurt Metzger or whatever, but I just don't think to what's his face, Kurt Metzger or whatever, but I just don't think he has to what's his face, Kurt Metzger or whatever, but I just don't think he has to what's his face, Kurt Metzger or what's his face, Kurt Metzger or whatever, to what's his face, Kurt Metzger or whatever, but I just don't.
Dude, what's his face, Kurt Metzger? What's his face, Kurt Metzger? What do you mean, what's his face, you fucking disrespectful punk bitch? You little fucking wet rat motherfucker.
I don't think he has as many interesting points to add to the conversation that a guy like Ron Walcone did. So,
God, he looks like he just came out of the fucking
obviously
sewer,
lots of hard
man.
feelings and resentment, I'm sure, between Graham and Jimmy, which is what's behind some of this. The last thing on the Jimmy Dore segment that I'll ask you guys, because we got a super chat about it, is, and I do kind of agree with this, and again, this is the only pushback I have to what you guys were saying about putting people in boxes. Mike says Jimmy Dore himself is the king of putting people in boxes, which,
no, he's
again,
not.
I do generally find it to be pretty toxic discourse to just label someone a right-winger.
Dude, give me an example, bro. What are you talking about? Who's he putting into a box? Are you fucking kidding me?
With them, I generally, I think that does get
What, the
weaponized
squad?
unfairly a lot. But the
For
only
doing
pushback
exactly
I
what they
give
do?
is that Jimmy does the exact same thing, but on the other side. Again, if someone is saying I support Nina Turner or whatever, he'll be like, "You're a shit lib. You're a sheet voter into the Democratic Party, and you're no longer my."
Are they not shit libs? Are they not ruining it for everybody? So it's kind of weird that you're saying like he's saying shit that ain't true. It's true. It's not like it's, like when we're putting someone in a box, that's not true. Oh, you're putting them in a box they don't belong in. Oh, okay. That's not what Jimmy's doing. He's putting them in the box that they're in, that their actions prove what box they're in. And you guys are punk bitches. You're a punk bitch for not defending Jimmy right now.
Ally, essentially.
He's laughing about
but
it.
again, he can give credit to the Republicans and talk about stuff and essentially pander to the right wing in the same way that those people are pandering to the left wing, and he gets away with it. So what would you guys respond with to that?
Yeah, respond to that.
Listen. I'm not here to defend Jimmy Dore. Like, I see the issues with Jimmy Dore, and I have this conversation with my co-host Josh all the time. Like, he's really anti Jimmy Dore, and I'm just kind of like, I don't really pay attention to Jimmy Dore, so he doesn't trigger me as much as he triggers other leftists, I guess.
Okay.
So
okay,
I'm like,
you
I
don't
really
pay
don't
attention.
really pay attention to him.
Why
It's
am I
like when
listening
he
to
makes
your
a great
opinion
point
on
or an
him?
interesting
Next,
point or something
Nick,
like that.
you're
Or he
on the
goes
show.
for
Nick?
a
Same.
topic that I was
Same.
really moved by, like with the
Forced to
Medicare, like forced to vote. Yeah, exactly. I was in the Jimmy Dore corner.
Me too.
Right? And then other stuff, I'm like,
What's your
nah,
problem?
you're going way off base here. Like, he does what he does, man, and it's like I just feel like too many times on the left and in general, as Siri's talking for whatever reason, it's the bots. I just feel like you have to understand that there's bad fake actors and people that work with
Fake hair color
with bad intentions, and it's like, what do you really? It's like you just got to try to expose these people for what they're doing and their bullshit tactics, and then Jimmy Dore is no different.
Yes, people need to engage in discourse because I think talking about these issues.
Nick takes the
are important.
freaking
Then there's
the
all
neutral
these
ground,
people that
of
come up with
course.
theories like, oh, he's saying speech on ponder to the
Way
right
to go,
wing, or
Nick.
he's saying
Very
this,
professional.
or that. I'm like, instead of making all that stuff, can you guys just talk about the issues? That's my point, and I feel like there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of that deflection. So if you
But
had
would
if you had to, I'll about address that, Gavin. If you had the criticism that Jimmy put people in boxes as well, and people make he may make. I don't know exactly what the argument is, but he does do it too. But it's discourse. It is what it is.
Yeah.
That's all, I don't have any like pushback against what you said. This is my general take. Is I think it's a fine line that everyone knows if someone arguing in good faith or not. Like if you pick someone apart by like if you like this is their argument. This is why they
Iceman, are you still here?
And I'm like, damn, dude, that was a great takedown. And then you respond like, oh, you're just an agent of. I'm like, all right, that's kind of weak. We all know that. We all know we're guilty of that. So I don't have much to add. That's just my general take. I don't think that's much of a pushback. But
Someone's at the door.
I think people are like really soften this discourse. Because when we go after people on RBN, you know that it's not like drama. Like we talking about the issues, and then people are like, oh my god, why you pick on this person? Like, no, we just talking about the issues.
think someone just
Learn
left
to
the
deal with this.
package on
So
the door.
hopefully that's clear. Hopefully that's clear.
No, I think that's totally fair, and I largely agree with both of you, 100%. Like as Manny said, when it comes to an issue like force the vote, couldn't be a bigger supporter. I was 100% out there making the case, giving credit where it was due to Jimmy Dore himself. So yeah, it's really issue by issue, and that's how we should discuss this stuff.
And my thing is, if you know me, and we have a relationship, or we've at least had discourse before, like don't say something, and then like just put it out to the airways and the masses, and then just be like, oh well, I said this or whatever. Like if all three of us here, like
What?
we've had a discourse, we know each other now. Like if I say something and you want to disagree with me, yo, you got my number. You invite me on your show and debate me, and we'll talk about what I said, what I think. We'll have the disagreements. It's discourse. At the end of the day, it's healthy.
I support my gun rights. I support my Second Amendment rights, and I think I should have a weapon that will allow me to combat a corrupt government, whether it comes in the form of tanks or rocket launchers or whatever, nukes. I should be able to protect myself against a corrupt government, no matter what they've got. That's what the Second Amendment was for, so we could protect ourselves against corrupt government. It defeats the purpose if they take the firepower away that doesn't allow you to do that. How do I make this go away because I'm so high? There we go. You guys, it's too bad for y'all that Iceman ain't here no more. Yo, Iceman, are you gone? Next military, but I think it should be 2192. I can get that. Shotgun and 18 minutes. That Graham's two-faced? Why is he two-faced, Cannabis Heels? I just smoked some resin unbaked. Why do you call Graham Elwood two-faced? He's a friend of the show. I think Rogie wants to go outside. Wait, where's he going? Yeah, it's probably the other screwdriver. Nick said my name a lot. Screwdriver. Yeah. I got one for you and one for me. It's blue. The blue screwdriver. Oh. Be careful, Mom. I probably have to check his food. I'm worried she's got that razor blade and Harley's down by her feet being a little bitch. Be careful. Harles. Mom, be careful. Be careful. The cat's trying to, you've got a razor in your hand. The cat's being a little bitch. Sorry, don't know his name. That young guy that was talking. Oh, that guy's name was Gavin, I think Gavin. Gavin, right? Yeah, Gavin. Like, Mom, stop. I will open it, okay? Mom. Don't cut yourself on that plastic. So because they silenced his kid on social media, nobody saw his social media posts. You guys see how the algorithm worked this time?
Ben, this is just a handle.
He literally announced on social media what he was doing. He's like, I just killed my grandmother. I'm going to go kill kids at an elementary school.
Ben,
And no one saw it because the algorithms hid what he was saying. Nice, huh? Thanks, Facebook.
it's just a handle.
Yeah, okay.
There's nothing.
The
Oh,
things
I
right here.
see them,
Right.
okay.
And look, in the base.
Yeah, I see.
It's got a whole bunch in the base, too.
Okay.
The base. And how you get them out? Oh, they're really long. That's cool, dude.
You need the paper in here?
No, I think I can figure out how to use this. This one's got everything, man.
There's all different kinds.
Dude, I know. It's got the star, dude.
It's got all different kinds of.
It's got the hex, dude. It's got the Allen wrench, dude. It's got the flathead, bruh. It's got the 2 Phillips, bruh. It's got extended, bruh. And it's ratcheting. Mom, I think yours ratchets too. Does it ratchet? Hold it and turn it. Does it click? It clicks? That's the ratchet. You can switch that the other direction. That'll keep it from turning backwards on you when you're trying to screw something in. You're going to love that. But you got to remember you have to reverse it depending on which way you're trying to turn it, or it won't work. You have to turn that little thing. There's a dial to go one way or the other. Here, pick it up. Pick up the screwdriver again. See if you can see that does it have a dial that you turn?
Yes.
Ah, that's how you reverse it. Okay. We both got these. You wonder how that algorithm works? I'll tell you how it works, man. That kid was on Facebook. He said some things and his friends reported him. He got in trouble. He got put in Facebook jail like everybody does. And then, guess what? No one sees his posts anymore. And when his posts are really negative, like stuff like saying, I killed my grandmother, or I'm going to go blow up I'm going to go kill a bunch of kids in an elementary school, Facebook hides those posts from other people. That's how they work. Thanks, Facebook. Thanks, Facebook algorithms. Thanks, shit lips and the re-engineer crew over there at YouTube. Re-engineers over there at YouTube. That's what you guys can be, You can thank yourselves for that little shindig. I didn't realize he had announced it on Facebook. I'm sitting all the way in here, and I could hear them talking about his online posts. I don't know if it was Facebook, actually. It could have been another website. It could have been Twitter. It could have been, I don't know which one it was. I live with my mother. He lived with his mother. How dare you talk badly about people that live with their mother? Ilunian, we're labeled, man. We're marginalized, Ilunian. We're a marginalized group. We live with our moms. Now we're freaking mass murderers. Because the fact I live with my mom Facebook bans me. Mom lives with me, but she's blind. Wow, cannabis. Some of their stories. Ratcheting screwdrivers are cool. You guys take care. I love y'all. I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? I hope you guys had fun tonight. Aight? Peace.